I just want to encourage you guys, as you guys are watching, the disclaimer. If you are soft and lily-livered, that this show probably is not for you, because I'm going to tell you everything exactly the way it is. I'm not going to hold back, and I'm not going to pull any punches. We've got a lot of stuff going on, and we got a lot of stuff we're going to talk about. And I guarantee you somebody somewhere is going to feel some type of way about something that I said. And that is the way that it is. If you want to be part of this conversation, make sure that you drop a comment in our comment online. If you're not watching us online, you can always tune into the YouTube channel, the Marcus C. Williams channel, and watch us there. Make sure you share this video out, share it on your page, share it on your friend's page, share it to a group, share it to your enemies. And if you're on X, make sure you hit retweet. Let's get this show on the road. We have had a very, very serious last couple of days, just everything going on all at one time. And I don't know what to tell you. Seems like every 5 seconds it's something else, and I'll start off with this. Just today, somebody was mad at me for talking about Donald Trump. I wasn't talking about Trump. That's crazy to me. It's crazy to me. They said, oh, I'm mad at Marcus because he's talking about Donald Trump. I wasn't talking about Donald Trump. But this is a warped conception that many people have in their mind, that anybody that speaks up against any nonsense or insanity that they're in favor of, or just anything that's not generally good for our society, that they are talking about Donald Trump. And that just blew my mind. I mean, I didn't mention him. I wasn't talking about him. I wasn't talking in reference to him, but they were like, he's talking about Donald Trump. And I didn't say anything about him. How could you think that I was talking about him or bringing him up in a conversation when I didn't say his name once? I didn't say anything about the president. But this shows you the warped concept of many people that just have Trump so much on the mind. I like to call it orange man fever. Some people call it Trump derangement syndrome, but it's worse and it's more pervasive than a derangement syndrome, because in this situation, in this case, I didn't say anything about this man. I didn't say anything about the presidency. I was talking about local government. And honestly, how the conversation started off is somebody was talking about Cuomo, Mario Cuomo, the father, the daddy. And we were talking about how really his whole family is corrupt and they're all corrupt, right? And we were commiserating about how corrupt everybody in the government is, pretty much. And that's where the conversation stemmed from. Everybody in the government is corrupt. Our government is corrupt, right? That was where the conversation stemmed from. Now, this other person who wasn't even a part of the conversation or engaging in the conversation, who doesn't have any concept of anything politically or at all, just felt like, oh, I don't like what he's saying, so he shouldn't be able to say what he's saying. That's madness. That's absolute madness. And it's bothersome, because this is the type of concept that people have in their head. They're like, oh, well, because you're against this, you must be in favor of Trump, or you must be talking about Trump. Trump wasn't even in the conversation. The presidency wasn't part of the conversation. And I got to be honest, I like to focus on local issues. So I do a lot to avoid talking about Trump as much as possible, because I often feel like I should defend him, because people tell me crazy stuff and say, oh, how can you support somebody in this, that, and the third, and da, 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 da. Who said I supported anybody? You didn't even ask me if I supported anybody or what I actually support. You didn't ask me. You made an assumption because I said something about something else. And that's a problem. Maybe I support him, maybe I don't. Okay? But you'd never know if you didn't ask me. Just because I disagree with other things doesn't mean that I support something else. But I'll tell you what I do support. I support policies. Policies matter to me. And I know policies don't matter to a lot of people. A lot of people just care about charisma or what makes them feel good or what sounds good and all of this and all of that. I don't care. Rip the Band-Aid off. Be gruff. Tell me the God's honest truth. I'm tired of the fluff, because that's what we've got far too much of in our government right now as it is. And I'm sick of it. Frankly, I'm sick of it. And it's on both sides. It's the Democrats, it's the Republicans, it's all of them that do this. You know, I am absolutely 100% a registered Republican. I am the chairman of the Rochester City Republican Committee. Okay? And I stand on the foundational principles of the Republican Party, which I'm sure anybody that doesn't like the Republicans don't even know. I stand on the founding values, which again, I bet you these people don't even know, but they see Trump. And that's a problem for them. Trump is a populist. He's a registered Republican. But honestly, he's a Democrat. All of the stuff that he's been pushing has been the old Democrat stuff from the late 80s, from before then, around, you know, and from about the 80s-ish, you know, before the early 90s. It's the same policies. You pull up things of Nancy Pelosi or Chuck Schumer or what's his, they call him, the saxophone dude, what's his name, the president, Bill Clinton, talking about these same issues that Trump is doing now, and all of a sudden you're mad at Trump. But see, this is where the concept is warped. These are all policies that used to be Democrat policies. Honestly, Trump isn't conservative enough for me, because he's not conservative at all. He's a populist, and that's fine, because he supports a lot of policies that I support. So I'm with it. But the fact of the matter is when you're like, oh, well, you're a Republican, so you support everything that he does or whatever the case is. I don't support everything that my Republicans in this state do. I don't support everything that the Republicans in this county do. How dare you? You're not about to sit here and pigeonhole me as an individual with a thinking brain that works, and I can make my own decisions. And it's crazy because I've been accused of watching Fox News. I don't watch Fox News unless like there's a special report or something and I have to go back and watch it because it's something crazy, like that interview with Kash Patel and Dan Bongino, which we're going to get into in a couple of minutes. I'm so disappointed there. But I've been accused of watching Fox. I don't even watch Fox. I don't even like Fox. I used to watch Fox Business though quite a bit. And I do like FX. You know, is it FX or FXX? I don't know. Whatever that one is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like that, but I don't really like Fox News. I don't like what they did during COVID. I don't like how that they force all these people to get these shots. And that it's crazy to me that is these leftist liberals going to talking point that, oh, you watch this, so we don't like you. You don't know what I watch. I don't even like those. Or the people that are like, oh, well, you sound just like Candace Owens. I don't know what Candace Owens sounds like. I don't watch Candace Owens. You know, maybe I've seen a clip of her here and there. I swear to goodness, I've never watched a whole Candace Owens show. I've never, not one time. I think maybe the most Candace Owens I've watched at one time is maybe 4 or 5 minutes. But the whole concept is oh, this is you. They try to pigeonhole you and make it like everybody's the same, like individuals can't have their individual thoughts. And that's a serious, serious problem. Am I to believe that all the Democrats think exactly the same, that all the leftists think exactly the same? They don't. You know, all the crackpot crazies don't think all the same. And it's crazy that anybody tries to lump somebody in together in the whole thing with everybody else like that. It's not only crazy, it's disrespectful, but it's done purposefully to make it so that you can attempt to discredit somebody. What do you call that? Like an ad hominem attack, where you really are attacking the person and not actually what they're talking about. It's a problem. It's so disgusting, it makes you want to spit. And it's a real serious issue. And we need to have these conversations, but people don't want to have these conversations. And it's very frustrating. So I want to thank you all for tuning in. Make sure you hit the share and the subscribe button. If you're not already subscribed, hit the subscribe or follow button. Share this, get it out, so we can all have a more of a conversation together. And definitely drop a comment, and I'll try to pop your comment up on the screen, and we can have that conversation if you want to be part of it. Okay. So if you drop a comment, oh, thank you for that thumbs up. Hit some thumbs up out there, you guys. Hit some hearts and some likes, and definitely hit the retweet. So as we go into this conversation, that's the most important thing I could say. Stop trying to lump people in with everybody else, because everybody doesn't think the same. Everybody doesn't believe the same things and all of that nonsense. It's very, 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 very concerning to me that it is not, I don't even call it tribalism. What it is it's teamification, largely on scale. If you're not a Republican, or if you're not a Democrat and the other person is, they don't like you because you don't like their team. Like it's the Bulls versus the Timberwolves or something. Like it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So when people start to try to have a real conversation or a real debate or anything about anything, people just shut off and shut down and try to discount them. It's like, what are you throwing the baby out with the bathwater, right? It's not acceptable, and it's deleterious. It's destroying our nation, that whole nonsense there. So now let's have a talk about Trump, right? Like let's talk about Trump, because this is a very interesting situation. I find it that Trump is doing a whole bunch of great deals across the world, and people are just don't even know what he's doing. He's got a ton of different investments from all across the world, promised to invest into our country, reinvest into our nation. He's made a whole bunch of peace deals and commerce deals and trade deals with other countries. And is he getting credit for any of that? No. Why? Because he is the enemy of the media. Why? Because he is the enemy of the Democrats, and because the Democrats control the majority of the media, and he's a good bad guy, right? Like he's gruff. He can be considered rude. Not that I consider him rude. Honestly, anybody that's ever called somebody rude, generally they're rude first, and then they accuse somebody else of being rude. That has been legitimately my life experience. I've never witnessed one situation where somebody was called rude when the other person wasn't rude to begin with. So it's interesting how he's not getting credit for anything, right? Nothing that he's doing whatsoever. Somebody said a couple months ago, about a month or two ago, so he could cure cancer tomorrow and they'd still be at him and wouldn't give him any credit for that. He brought this lady out of prison because he gave her a pardon, right? And she was in prison for drug trafficking or whatever the case was. There's a whole bunch of stories. I'm not going to dig into it today. I'm just using it to make a point, but you can go check her out. She's now his czar of pardons, right? So this black lady, he pardoned her from prison. He pardoned the black lady. Trump pardoned the black lady. Maybe I got to say that a couple of times so it sinks in, and y'all should look her up, because she had three times she tried to apply for a pardon under Biden, and he pushed it away. So it's really crazy. But Trump hired her as his pardon czar. So now she's working on pardons for a number of people throughout the country for different issues. And I bring that up because I hear tell that he's working right now on repealing one of the, I don't know if it's 100% a law, or if it's like a, a regulation. But it's like the one that makes it so that anybody that had a nonviolent felony isn't able to own a firearm. So he's working, apparently, and I don't know this for 100%, like he hasn't come out and said this 100%, but this is what the whispers are saying, is that he's working on making it so that people that have nonviolent felonies can own firearms again. That's a fantastic win. That's a fantastic win. And do you know how many Black Americans that'll benefit, who's had their Second Amendment rights stripped away for nonviolent felonies, right? And you say, well, Marcus, why are you talking about Black Americans? Simply like this, because all anti-Second Amendment, all firearms laws that try to make it so you can't own a firearm, all of those are based in racism. because they came out so that people couldn't own firearms that were black. That's why those laws were made. Matter of fact, California had a court case a couple of months ago trying to argue why they could limit the people who can own firearms. And part of their reasoning was a number of different laws that came back from right after slavery in the Reconstruction era, talking about, oh, they don't want black people to own firearms. And California brought this to the court, and the court said, are you serious? Like, you can't be serious. Like, this is your argument. And they tossed it all out. Go look it up. So all firearms laws, okay, are not just an infringement on the Second Amendment, but they're all racist. And that's a fact. And with everybody running around calling everything racist right now, we need to wake up and label the actual things that are racist, okay? Racism and racist. And we need to maybe get rid of them, like that specifically right there. Any laws that infringe upon the Second Amendment, which right in the amendment it says shall not be infringed, shall not be infringed. So I'd love to see that lady pardon a whole bunch of people and Trump get a whole bunch of people pardoned for that. And I guess technically some people would get pardoned, but other people would just now be able to own a firearm and practice their Second Amendment like they should, because it's protected by the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. The Bill of Rights does not give you, okay, rights. It protects your God-given rights, which is another conversation we need to have at some point, but a lot of people don't want to have. You guys, hit share, hit like, drop the heart. Okay, in the comments, if you could drop an American flag or a thumbs up or a smiley face, that'd be awesome. If you want to comment and be part of the conversation, drop a comment. We'll do our best to pop it up on the screen, and we'll put you in and make you part of the conversation. We'll talk about it on here. But like I said, all anti-Second Amendment legislation is based in racism, and it's period, point blank. So I'd like to see him work on that. Now, we just had over the weekend a ton of stuff happened, and we're going to get back to certain various wins, but we had a ton of stuff happen. IVF clinic got blown up, right? Allegedly, because they said that it was a car bomb. Let me tell you, I had never seen no car bomb look like that. Look crazy. Okay. And then the car even looked crazy that was left over. The whole thing looked crazy. Anyway, I guarantee you there's something up there. That is some slippery slime there. That's something else. It's something else. But anyway, so the leftists tried to say, oh, well, it was the pro-lifers that blew it up. Why? Why would pro-life people be mad and blow up something that's for making babies? You sound dumb, right? Like, all of that comes off of a faulty lie that was started in, I believe it was Mississippi, when a clinic did not secure their clinic appropriately, and somebody came in there and destroyed all the embryos. So there was a lawsuit against the clinic for not protecting the people's unborn children. So the state was like, yeah, you as a clinic need to protect your actual children's your actual clients' unborn children. And the IVF people were like, you can't expect us to protect people's investments. How dare you expect us to protect their babies? That's terrible. You can't force us to do that. So because now the IVF would have to hire security, they'd have to have more insurance, they'd have to do all of these things because they'd be liable if anything happened to the people's unborn offspring. They cooked up this narrative with the Democrats, who are always outside their mind on these type of situations when it comes to babies, because they like to murder babies. They do. That's what it is. They promote abortion, which is murdering unborn babies. Okay. And in New York State, you can murder a baby after birth. The whole thing is crazy here. And don't come here and try to tell me, oh, no, you can't. Oh, yes, you can. And that's a serious problem. And if you believe, oh, no, you can't, how about we pass a law that says that you can't? Since you believe that so firmly and you support that so firmly, let's pass a law that says that you can't do that. Huh. Put your money where your mouth is. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, so as we continue to have this conversation, I see a couple of people drop some comments. I'm going to get to those in a second. But I want to finish on this IVF clinic. So the crazies were out there saying, oh, well, it's the people who are pro-life that blew it up. No. Come to find out, which we already knew. We didn't need we didn't need to find out. We knew exactly who would do it to begin with. But come to find out that it is one of those pro-abortion, pro-baby murder people that blew it up, who has nihilistic tendencies. Now, we're going to jump into the nihilistic tendencies in a minute because that's a very important conversation that we need to have together. But it was a leftist that blew up the IVF. Now, we don't have any conversations about that. They didn't put that on the news. You can't even hardly find any articles about that. Why is that? Why isn't that being discussed? Huh? Hello? Anybody out there? You know what I'm saying? Like, why isn't that being discussed? Because it was a Democrat, because it was a leftist, because it was somebody that supports abortion that blew up that IVF clinic. We can't talk about it now. It's not on the news anymore. Like, it just happened 2 days ago. What happened? Like, that was Saturday. It's Monday now. Come on now. Let's hit these comments, and then I want to get into nihilism and what the problem is with that. Let's see. Who's talking here? Let's see. Kevin, I see you there. And then Harper, I can't read what you wrote, but I'm going to try to see if I can pull it up. So Kevin says, I talked to the mailman this afternoon about the Saturday afternoon incident where the RPD failed to protect and serve. Plus, I had to assert self-defense. And hold on, I got a phone call. Let's see if we can answer this phone call. Let's see how this works. How's this work? Hello. It didn't work. Hello? No. I tried it. Anyway, so Kevin says, I talked to the mailman this afternoon about the Saturday afternoon incident where the RPD failed to protect and serve. Plus, I had to assert self-defense, including the other person's refusal for aid. So Kevin's been dealing with a number of different issues. Guys, hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the share button, okay, and drop some comments. Kevin's been dealing with some serious issues as it relates to public safety in his area and drugs and stuff like that. And we're going to jump back into Kevin's conversation a little bit later, but I want to cover some things. Thank you, Kevin. And Harper, it doesn't show what you said, Harper, but I'll just pop up your name because. All right, try to comment again, Harper, and we'll see if we can get you out here. All right, you guys, make sure that you are hitting share and hit that like button. I see more of you watching than you have liked it. Hit the like button, hit the share, drop a comment because comments kick the algorithm and get it going. It means that you want to hear this conversation. You want to be a part of this conversation. Even if you just drop a thumbs up or a heart or a smiley face, whatever, drop it in the comments. And if you guys could, we're working on raising money for more airtime. Airtime is not free. Please donate. We're working to raise $50 to $100 per episode so that we can get more airtime, and hopefully we can raise enough money to get another time slot so we can get another show so we can have more important conversations with you. You can donate on Cash App. That's $MW Real, the number one. That's $MW Real 1 on Cash App. And we've also got Venmo and PayPal. That's at Marcus C. Williams. And again, that's Venmo and PayPal is at Marcus C. Williams. Drop $10, $25, $50, and help us get to our goal of each show raising between $50 to $100 so that we can keep it going. All right, let's see. We got another comment here. Oh, Harper popped up. I can see your comment now, Harper. Harper says, just showing some support. Keep up the great work. Also trying to get a concealed carry permit in New York State is not a fair process at all. It discourages the average person from being able to defend themselves. Harper, brother, I mean, you are so right on that. That is so serious, and it is such a big problem. Now, this year, you guys, I'm running here locally for city council, and there's a number of anti-Second Amendment laws that I want to get rid of. So in our city, there's a law on the books that says that you can't have a firing range inside the city limits. So where are the people that live in the city supposed to practice if they can't practice in their own city? That's crazy. And they know that transportation is not the easiest. And honestly, the history has been that the suburbans don't really want the urbans out in the suburbs, especially not in the rural areas. And this is no discrimination saying that, oh, the people that run the ranges and stuff out there don't really want us out there. But that's just a statement of fact. Okay. You got to be honest, even inside neighborhood to neighborhood, some people don't want people from other neighborhoods in their neighborhood. Let's be real. We should be able to, but what the real issue is that it's time prohibitive, which means that you now need to have to go out and travel somewhere to try to be able to use the facilities there to get your training qualifications and time in, which again, that's another ridiculous thing that's not supposed to be done and is illegal, but we're not talking about that right now. But I'd remove that barrier of entry for people. Like, we should be able to practice and have a gun range in our city. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, how are we supposed to train if now we're obligated to get all these extra training hours and stuff, which is cost prohibitive, which I would also make it so that the city pays for anybody's filings for them getting an actual permit for New York State for a firearms permit, because that's a right that's supposed to be protected by our Constitution, and our state is violating the Constitution, making all these extra fees and all these extra requirements that it clearly says in the Constitution shall not be infringed. So disgusting, makes you want to spit. Now, drop a comment, hit a like. We're going to get back into this nihilism, because that's what I want to talk about right now. So, Marcus, what is nihilism? Well, nihilism is essentially you feel nothing about nothing, you care about nothing. That's nihilism. Now, nihilism is on the rise in America right now because my generation, the generation after us, and the generations up and coming are going to be like, we don't have a future. Because they taught all of my generation, the world is ending, be afraid, it's on fire, climate change is going to kill us all, destroy us all, and the generation before us, it was the Russians are going to destroy us all, and it's always something fearful to get you into fear. But in our generations, it's been sped up. I mean, we've had a recession, a depression, a housing crash, another housing crash, all of this in not to mention COVID in since 2008? Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. And hyperinflation as well, right? Like, all since 2008. It's 2025 right now. So anybody born after 2008, or that was just little in 2008, trying to get into the world and stuff like that, we were messed up from day one. So it's no wonder that so many people don't see a way to the future when they're being told by the time we get to retirement age, there's not going to be any Social Security. By the time we get in another 5 years, we shouldn't have kids because the earth is going to be on fire because of climate change. And back in the 70s and the early 80s, it was just going to be ice age, nonsense. It's always been nonsense. But these are the conversations that we can't have. What they're doing is they're creating a situation where there is enough fear that people just give up. And it's complete apathy, which turns into nihilism, which is like, it started with this concept that you saw in millennials where they started YOLO, you only live once. I know many of you might remember that. And then it's just do whatever you want all the time because there is no tomorrow type of concept. And that's a problem. That's a serious, real problem, because then you get people that are like, well, if nothing matters, nothing matters. And then they're willing to do whatever because nothing matters. Honestly, where I live, that's why we have a lot of the crime that we have, because the youth don't see any opportunities for them or any ways to actually benefit themselves and actually get out into the world and have opportunities to thrive. They don't see that. So a lot of them have become nihilistic. But more than that, even everyday people have become nihilistic a little by little. It starts off with apathy, right? Like, people, they don't care anymore. So right now we've got a lot of voter apathy. Nobody wants to come out and vote because they're like, oh, nothing's going to change. I've been voting for years. Nothing's going to change. Everything is terrible. Orange man bad. Biden bad. Harris bad. Schumer bad. Johnson bad. These people bad. Those people bad. Everybody bad. Everything's terrible. I heard today, and I heard today, a lot of people were like, oh, everything's bad. It's not ever going to get any better. What are you talking about? Not with that type of an attitude. So what that type of an attitude leads to is nihilism, where people just don't care anymore. And when you get somebody that doesn't care anymore, they're willing to do whatever's clever because they feel like they can. And they feel like it doesn't matter because nothing matters. Those people are extremely dangerous and volatile. Some of you older people or some of you movie buffs, and maybe some of you AV kids, maybe you know the movie The Big Lebowski, right? Those people that were after him, trying to kill him, were nihilists, right? And their whole thing was they believe in nothing. So they're just doing all types of crazy stuff, like completely outlandish, because they do whatever they want, do whatever they feel like. And that's also a concept, like I said earlier, that's been pushed into the culture. And honestly, that's a tenet of Satanism. Do whatever makes you feel good. Do whatever you want to. That's Satanism. And that's been pushing our society by the music industry, by the media, by many government policies, impeding in the schools, removing Christianity from our schools and the justice system and stuff like that. Because do whatever you want all the time. Everything is fine. When you don't have a moral code, everything descends into chaos. And you'll say, well, Marcus, people can have a moral code without the Bible. No, you can't. No, you can't. You got to have some sort of ties. So now we get into ego, super ego, and id, right? So your super ego is like your highest sense of moral values and things like that. Now, if you don't have anything to tether that to, right, it'll be ever changing. And generally, that's the place in which religion is held, right? So your religion generally forms your super ego. Go look it up. But your religion generally forms your super ego, which is where your morals and your values come from. But if you do not have that, if you do not have that basis of religion, okay, you have nothing to stick to. It's moral relativism. It means that your morals will be continuously shifting and shading and doing whatever they want and changing with the times. And that's what we've seen already right now, you know, and it's a serious, serious, serious problem, you know. And people be like, oh, well, no, this is fine. And then they're like, oh, no, this is fine. You know, like it started off with furries being mascots and being people that like to bang each other in mascot suits, right? That's a little weird, but it's not completely insane, right? Like that's a little weird. Let's be honest, right? That's weird, but it's not completely insane. Now we've got people calling themselves furries that aren't actual furries. Okay, they're not about banging each other in mascot costumes. They believe that they are animals. Some of them call themselves therians or whatever. And they'll tell you that they are an animal. You got to address me as my animal self, the sparrow and sparrow self. If you don't shut up with your nonsense, okay, again, that's that moral relativism. How do we get to that? Because we started with the furries, then we got to that, and people talking about their animals. Now we got them trying to popularize bestiality. It's a serious problem. And it's an ever-changing landscape and a shifting slope because we've gotten away from Christ and his teachings, and we've gotten away from the scripture of the Lord our Father in heaven. If you guys are not Christian, I encourage you to read the Bible for yourself and turn towards the teachings of Jesus Christ. Many of them right now are corrupted out here in society, like this hippy-dippy nonsense Jesus that they try to talk about all the time. That's fake. That's not real. Lorraine says, yeah, that's right. That hippy-dippy fake Jesus isn't real. Okay, that, oh, Christians should just let anything happen to them. They should be passive. They shouldn't stand up for themselves. They shouldn't defend themselves. That nonsense, that's got to go. That needs to be deaded, okay? Because I really wish that these people out here that got so much to say about Christians that aren't Christian, go shut up. Facts. I said what I said. If you're not a Christian, don't talk about Christianity, okay? And that goes along with you fake Christians that are all, oh, yes, alphabetism in Christianity, Jesus supports that. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. Do I care if you do whatever you want to do in your home, in your privacy? That's between you and your soul, and when you have to go meet the maker. You understand what I'm saying? Ain't got nothing to do with me. But for you to preach from the pulpit that stuff is okay when it specifically goes against the Bible, you're a heretic. And unfortunately, we don't burn heretics at the stake anymore. I'm not saying that we should. I'm just saying, well, maybe we went wrong somewhere, because clearly this stuff is insane what's going on right now. That's right, Lorraine. They think Jesus is some sort of a hippie, and he's not to be trifled with. You understand what I'm saying? That's a serious problem. We got all these crazy people out there trying to tell us what our religion is about, and it's not even backed up by scripture what they're talking about. They think that they swear that they know so much about Christianity, and they don't know nothing. Somebody tried to tell me, oh, well, you should let the Lord fight for you. Christians shouldn't be fighting. Shut the monkey's uncles up. Who the heck are you? And they quoted Exodus 14:14, I think it was, that they tried to quote to me. And I'm like, are you serious? First of all, you're cherry picking. Okay, you're cherry picking in that chapter, not more or less in the whole book. But on top of that, the situation is with the Bible. When it comes to the Bible is a treatise on war. Adonai is a man of war. Look it up. Okay, I start quoting scripture all day on here in relation to that. But the problem is that we get these people that want to try to say, oh, well, the Christians should be passive and stuff like that. Tell that to the Jews. Tell the Jews that they should be passive. Go tell them that. I double dog dare you. Let's see what happens. Tell that to the Muslims. I double triple dog dare you to tell that to the Muslims and see what happens. Christians are the only ones that they do like this. And we let them do that. We should not be allowing them to do that. Then we got all these fake leaders in elected positions, call themselves Christians, fake behind Christians. Okay, y'all not Christians. Y'all not leading from scripture. Y'all not leading based on biblical values. Y'all trash, all of you. And if you feel some type of way about what I said, I'm probably referencing you, not directly, but if you felt compelled by the spirit that I was talking about you, you need to repent and you need to return to scriptural basis. Come on now. Crazy nonsense. These people crazy. Okay. Lorraine says that Jesus says that he's coming with a sword. He is. What he said? He said he came to set us apart too, right? You know, he said he didn't come for peace. He came for war. You know what I'm saying? He came to create strife. He came to separate the chaff from the wheat. You know what I mean? All this stuff. Y'all don't read the Bible. He came to turn the mothers against children and children against parents and all this stuff. Read the actual Bible, because the point is that Jesus, and this is the problem where these people had these weird concepts of Jesus. They differentiate Jesus's teachings from what the Lord our Father actually said. Jesus said that he came to uphold the law, and he came to encourage people back to the actual teachings of the Lord our Father. But for some reason, a lot of people like to try to focus on Jesus and his ways of going about what his mission was, right? Because if you look throughout the Bible, there are different prophets and every prophet's mission is different. A lot of prophets were warning people about stuff happening and the people didn't listen to them. Or you get people like Elisha and he's out there mocking people and their gods. You understand what I'm saying? That's funny. Go check that out. That's real funny. Oh, where is your God? Is he asleep? You know? And so, but this is serious. So people try to say, oh, well, Jesus did this and Jesus did. No. Jesus's ministry supported the teachings of the Lord our Father. And the teachings of the Lord our Father are not only are we supposed to raise up the people that rule over us from within our own people. Okay, that means Christians are supposed to elect Christians, and people who are elected to represent Christians are supposed to follow biblical and scriptural teachings. But they're not. And they're willing to bend on everything. And that's why everything is every which way. And that's why we have such an issue of nihilism right now, because there are no tethers. Nothing is tied down. You know what I'm saying? And it's a serious problem. I gotta blow my nose. Hold tight. It's dusty in here, y'all. Excuse me. But this is a bit of an issue that we need to have a serious conversation about, because when we started to move away from the Lord, then we started to lose a whole bunch of stuff. You look at the schools, You look at the breakdown of the family. All of this is tied back to when we started to step more and more away from the Lord our Father and his teachings. Can you make it make sense to me? Somebody got to make it make sense. But can we have that conversation? Now we got people out here, they just don't care. They don't care about anything. They can't be bothered. It's all whatever. And it's only like that because they're not tethered. There are no tethered. And it's also the reason why there's so much emptiness out there right now, because the emptiness that they're trying to fill, the void that they're trying to fill, is a lack of the Lord living inside of them, is a lack of the Holy Spirit. And because of that, that's why they're trying to desperately fill it with everything or nothing. It's disgusting, making one spit. But because these are the philosophies that are ruling our nation right now, it's one of the big issues of why we've gone so far. But we got to come back from it. And I would wish one thing, if anything else, that I encourage others to stand up and take action, that we start actually getting active, especially locally, because that's where we can make the real difference. Now, as we continue this conversation, please hit the heart button, hit the like. I see a ton of you watching. It's about 80 of you watching. I don't see 80 hearts and 80 thumbs up. Okay, give me some sort of a smile, a thumbs up, a caring heart emoji, whatever. Drop a comment. Drop a thumbs up in the comments, drop a smiley face, whatever. Let me know you're listening, and every comment helps kick the algorithm to get us out to more people so we can have more of this conversation with more people. And also make sure that you donate to the show. You can donate on Cash App, $MW Real, the digit 1, that's $MW Real, the number 1. And we also have Cash App and, we also have Venmo and PayPal. That's at Marcus C. Williams. So drop 5 there, 10 there, 25 there, whatever you can do. Now, as we have this very serious conversation about, honestly, the collapse of the integrity, the collapse and the eroding of the morals of our nation and the direction that we're going in, we have to understand that that has become what many people are saying is the woke mind virus, right? Where everything is permissible. Really what it is it's hedonism, okay? It's hedonism. Go look it up, okay? It's hedonism. People do whatever they want all the time, whatever makes them feel good. You know, we have formed the modern day cult of Dionysus. Immorality, perverse sexuality, hypersexuality, all of that. It's like it's the cult of Dionysus out here. I swear to goodness. It's insane. It's absolutely insane, and it's unacceptable. And it's doing our nation a disservice. It really is. It really is a serious problem, but we can't have that conversation because people don't want to have that real conversation. So back to this guy that blew up the IVF clinic, you know, like he was a far leftist that didn't believe in anything. I saw this video. Let me see if I can. I don't think I have it saved. I'd like to play it for you. I don't have it saved on my pull-up thing, but in this video, it had this lady that I don't know whether it was at the University of Georgetown or wherever it was, but they had these people that were the crazy leftist Antifa people, the pro-Palestinian people too, and they were chasing down some old lady with a cane, right? Like she's overweight and old and sickly looking or whatever the case is, right? Like, I don't know her medical situation, but she was clearly an older person. And, you know, and the police were like, man, stop, leave that lady alone, man, respect your elders, you know? And she's walking away or whatever the case is, trying to walk along with her life, you know? And they harassing her. And the police is like, respect your elders. And they're like, I don't have to respect my elders. They didn't respect us, and they destroyed our lives, and they destroyed our future. They stole our future from us. And we don't have anything. What? You sound dumb. You're on an Ivy League college campus with all your room and board getting carried, you know, and you talking about, oh, life is terrible and they stole your future. And you harassing some old lady. You don't even know that lady. That lady ain't important in the scheme of life. No offense to the old lady, right? But she ain't nobody, right? Like, and you at her? Why? Because again, this is these people, right? Like they hate everybody. Like they hate the elders. Now we got a law in New York State where they're going to kill the old people. It just passed. Medically aided induced death, right? They call it MAID. I call it MAD. Medically aided induced death. MAD. Because it's madness. These people mad. They insane. They straight insane. And people are like, oh, well, you shouldn't talk about that because it's about making people comfortable as they're dying. I said, are you crazy? That's not what it's about. That's not what it's about at all. This isn't palliative care. This is about murdering the elders to get them off of the tax, off of the Medicaid and Social Security rolls so that we have more money in the coffers so that we don't have to pay for them because they're an expense. They're what the elite call useless eaters. Okay, they're the poors, and that's what the elite want to get rid of, and it's crazy because it starts with them and then it expands. Soon it'll be the people with developmental disabilities and it'll be the people with the physical disabilities. And look at how they talk about the children, right? They talk about unborn children and say, well, if you live in poverty, you should get all the abortions that you can because you shouldn't have any child growing up in poverty. What are you talking about? You want to kill all the babies? That sounds crazy to me. That sounds crazy. So if you don't think that they feel the same way about the seniors, okay, you're out of sight of your mind. It's just a matter of time. And listen to how they talk. The majority of seniors in America are in poverty right now. So if we carry that thought process on, our seniors shouldn't suffer in poverty in their seniorhood. We should just get rid of them too. Is that what you're saying? Yes, that's exactly what they're saying. And we need to have that conversation. But nobody wants to have that conversation. But be part of this conversation. Drop a comment. We'll do our best to pop it up on the screen and share it with others. Okay. And so you can be part of this conversation. Comment, like, share. I see a lot of you on there are watching on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it. Hit the retweet button. It don't cost you nothing. That sounds like a bar right there, right? That's a tweet in and of itself. Hit the retweet button. It don't cost you nothing. Hit that button and hit the share and get it out to more people. Okay. Share on your page, your friend's page, somebody else's page, some groups, and let's have this conversation together. Now, as we go down this line, I want to talk more about the other things that have happened this weekend, not just the crazy leftists that blew up the IVF clinic. We also had a Mexican ship crash into the Brooklyn Bridge. Now, I encourage you guys to keep an open eye and an open mind on this whole I don't know what's going on, but we're having some issues with the Wi-Fi and the radio signal right now. I hope you guys are still catching me online. Hopefully the radio signal comes back in. I'm not sure what's going on with that, but I got a lot of thoughts. So discussing makes you want to spit. I guess they just really didn't want me to talk about what's really going on. You know how that works. They cut you off. You start talking serious, they'll shut you down. So we got that going on with our radio show right now. Sound like they're trying to cut into the line and all types of stuff. Crazy. So as we're having this conversation, I hope if you guys can hear me out there on the radio, please tune into the show. You can catch it on YouTube, the Marcus C. Williams channel, or find it on any of my social media platforms. But definitely subscribe to my YouTube channel, the Marcus C. Williams channel. But anyway, let the show go on, and let's hope we stay on strong. So as we have this conversation, let's talk about this Mexico ship crashing into the Brooklyn Bridge, right? Like the Brooklyn Bridge is a national monument, an infrastructure treasure for the United States of America, and they crashed a whole ship into it. Now, if you guys remember, not too many months ago, maybe about 6 months ago, when Biden was still president, maybe a little longer than that, they crashed into the Francis Scott Key Bridge, and that was done by China. Now, if you remember what happened during that, people were like, oh, the boat was just veering off of course. It was doing crazy things. The lights were going off and on. It was almost like it was being autopiloted, all types of stuff. And then it crashed into the Francis Scott Key Bridge, one of the most notable bridges and infrastructure projects in our nation. Francis Key wrote the Star Spangled Banner. You know, like these are important things. Not only are they representative of important things, but they're actual important infrastructure projects and waterways. So now we got a ship, a Mexican ship. Now, let me talk about this ship for a minute so we understand. First of all, this ship has been on hundreds of tours of duty, right? It's been around for decades, if not longer. Okay. The ship is like an old schooner from like the 1800s or whatever the case is. Looks like, right? It's got all the three masts, the big masts and stuff like that, and the big sail flags and stuff like that. Not, what do you call the sail flags? Sails? Sails. They're called sails. The big sails. You know, it's got the big sails and everything on it or whatever the case is. Now, it's a sailboat. It's a giant sailboat. It's a pirate ship, essentially, right? Now, you look at that, and it's got a huge, giant, huge, way so obnoxious, huge size Mexican flag on the back of it, right? Just obnoxiously huge. Not like regularly big, obnoxiously huge, right? Now, the ship crashes into the bridge, okay? Now, but remember this. Mexico is like the 34th most powerful military as far as boom powder goes. You know what I'm saying? Like firepower. Like they're like the 34th most powerful nation in firepower out of like the 196 or however many countries there are now or whatever. But they're also the 13th most manned. They got the most people in their military. You know, I don't care what you think about Mexico, but you got to have a lot of hubris to think that the Mexican Navy is completely incompetent. Right. And I know in America, we think so highly of ourselves that we're so much better than everybody else. And that's fine, y'all. But when we start sitting there and we start saying, oh, well, other countries are so much beneath us, they're just useless and they're ridiculous. They're dumb. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a problem. That's a problem. And I think right now with this whole picture, a lot of Americans are thinking like this. Like, oh, it's just the Mexicans. They're incompetent. What incompetent Mexicans do you know? I mean, aside from regular incompetent humans that are Mexican, like I don't take the whole country of Mexico as being inept. Like I don't think that it's a whole country full of people that are developmentally disabled. Like they are a highly competent country. Okay? Right now, Mexico is our Pakistan, like Pakistan is to India. Okay? They're our neighbor that keep doing stuff to give us problems like pumping drugs and human trafficking into our country, and we not doing nothing about it. We need to bop them in their nose. For real. After this bridge, after they hit this bridge, people are like, oh, well, it was just a error. It was a mistake. It was a mistake. It was an error on this boat that's been doing these tours of duty for decades, if not longer. You know what I'm saying? Like it was a mistake. And they're like, oh, well, it lost the auxiliary power to its engine. It is a sailboat, people. It is a sailboat. You mean it don't got no anchors? You mean these people don't know how to do different stuff with the mast, hoist the main line and all of that stuff? Like I'm just shouting out stuff. That ain't what you're actually supposed to do. But you know what I'm talking about. You know, like they're sailors. Like they know what to do. They know how to pilot a ship, you know? Like this crazy. You mean that they're that inept? I don't believe it. Not even for a little bit. Not even for a little bit. Now, Chuck Schumer got his raggedy self up on the TV talking about, oh, well, it's Trump's fault that the Mexican Navy crashed their ship into the Brooklyn Bridge because of all of this nonsense and all of that nonsense with the Coast Guard, which ain't had nothing to do with the Coast Guard. So it had nothing to do with the Coast Guard. Ridiculous nonsense. But the point is even the Schumer, it was something that doesn't make any sense to happen. Like that shouldn't have happened. Okay, Coast Guard would have never stopped that from happening because that's not the Coast Guard's job, but that's a whole nother conversation. There shouldn't be no Mexican sailing ship in our country with no giant Mexican flag on it. We shouldn't even be letting their troops in our country right now. Are you serious? Like we don't got beef right now. Okay, like are we not being real right now? Like we don't got beef with Mexico right now. They mad, we mad. A lot of the Mexican people like, I don't care. A lot of the American people like, I don't care. But we ain't going to sit here and act like there ain't no animosity there. Like we don't got these crazy separatists out here in the United States waving Mexican flags. All of them need to go back to Mexico. They care about Mexico so much. Later for you. Okay? Later for you. Okay? So this is serious. This is serious. This is a serious conversation that we need to have. I believe that they did it 100% intentionally. Okay, intentionally. And people are like, well, some of the Mexican sailors died and there wasn't that much damage to the bridge, but it could have been. It could have been. I believe very firmly they expected and anticipated far more damage be done to the bridge and the little walk that they had right next to it with all them people on it. That's what I believe that their intention was. Very firmly. And people are like, oh, well, why would Mexico do something that would kill two of its own people? Are you dumb? Like, what government, like, what country are you from? Like, one government wouldn't sacrifice two of its people to get one up on an enemy or somebody that they see as an issue? You understand what I'm saying? Do you know how much money it would have cost if the Brooklyn Bridge was taken down for a couple of days? More or less months, almost a year, like the Francis Bridge. You understand what I'm saying? Like, are we not being serious here? You know how much that would have damaged New York City and would have caused problems with traffic, and not just traffic. That's a very serious waterway right there. Like, are we for real right now? Like, you're not being serious. Oh, well, they two of their people died when it happened, so it couldn't have been done intentionally. Hello, first of all, I'm American. We sacrifice our people like cannon fodder every day and gone day. You understand what I'm saying? And that's America, and I love my country. Okay? They perform experiments on our military men and women all daggone day. And you talking about Mexico sacrificed two people? They wouldn't do that. Why wouldn't they do that? And the Mexicans work with the cartels. Are you serious, playing in my face? Then we've been fighting these people in the Middle East that strap bombs to children and have the children run up on you and blow the children up. And you talking about Mexico wouldn't sacrifice two people? Are you dumb? Like, does your brain not work correctly? Is something wrong with you? Like, what government is in this world that you're trusting right now? Like, and I'm going to put this out to everybody right now. No matter how much you distrust the government, you do not distrust them enough. You know, and that's on the real right there. So hit the like, hit the share button as we had this conversation. Abdul, I see that you commented. This is the radio show. It don't work like that. If you want to comment, I'll pop your comment up on the screen. Okay. But that's how that works there. So make a comment and I'll do my best to pop it up on the screen. We can talk about what you're talking about. Okay. So if you're watching, hit the retweet button, hit the share button, get it out there. Hit the heart button. Okay. Hit the thumbs up button on the screen. It ain't going to cost you nothing to hit that. Okay. Take 2 seconds. And drop a comment, like a thumbs up or a heart or a smiley face, whatever. Or just a hi, how you doing? So as we have this serious conversation, like, it's maddening to me that people are like, oh yeah, no, a country wouldn't sacrifice any of their military people for an advantage or to hurt somebody else. Really? Like the kamikaze planes, like the Japanese just killing themselves to take out our ships to cause greater destruction? Like, are you serious? Like, did we forget about that? Like, that's not a thing anymore? Are we serious? You know, Zelensky sacrificing literally all of the people's lives in Kiev because he shut down the borders so that the people couldn't escape. And he said publicly with his, not the defense minister, what do they call him? The foreign minister. They said publicly that they shut everything down so that the people couldn't escape, so that if they were going to roll into Kiev, that they would have had to kill off everybody. Are you serious? Are you serious? Are you, like, he's willing to sacrifice all of his people? Are you serious? You understand? Like, the Russians didn't kill a whole bunch of their people during World War II because of a lot of the policies and stuff that they instituted to gain a military advantage. Are you serious? Like, how are we forgetting that all of this stuff happened? Like, this is real stuff. Hit the like button, hit the share button, drop a comment. Let's talk about it. Now, those are just two of the issues that happened over the weekend, right? Then all of a sudden, man, listen. Then all of the sudden, Joe Biden has prostate cancer. Oh my goodness. You mean to tell me with all the medical doctors and all of this stuff, nobody knew that Joe Biden had cancer? prostate cancer. Now they're talking about the prostate cancer is so advanced and stuff like that, that it's horrible, that he's probably going to get him, that it's aggressive, that it might even be in his bones. Ain't no way. Ain't no way they didn't know he had cancer. Because that type of cancer, you can test for in blood tests. Anything that would show up on blood tests, that would show up in any of the battery of different results that they would have done with him in all of the tests that they do for his health and competency in office. Like, and we're not having that conversation. Like, these people out here playing in our face, talking about, oh, well, Biden's prostate cancer. Now, maybe we shouldn't talk about his cognitive decline over the last couple of years. Excuse me? What did you just say? We shouldn't talk about Biden's cognitive decline because he's got prostate cancer all of a sudden? Didn't he say live on the TV that if they disagreed with him or something, that he would mysteriously catch some type of a sickness and then step down and step away? Isn't that exactly what the plan was the whole time? He said that out of his own mouth. Go look it up. Like, you can't make this stuff up. That's the craziest thing about it. Like, at the time when we're investigating the auto pin signatures on all of these different executive orders that he's telling other people that he didn't know that he even signed. The one that shut down natural gas exploration and exportation. Is that exportation a word? I don't know if exportation is a word, but it is today. Okay, and exports of natural gas, liquid natural gas. He said he didn't do that. He said he thought he did it for more natural gas exploration and to increase natural gas exports. He said he didn't do that. So then who signed it? Or who coerced him to sign it? But we know that the signatures on a vast majority of those are auto pen. But can we have that conversation? No, because Biden all of a sudden, he's got a disease and he's old and he's going to die. And all of a sudden, so we can't talk about any of the stuff that happened under him. Whose leg are you pulling, right? Like, that's the biggest flim-flam of flim-flam that ever flim-to-flam been flimmed. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy. Like, we're not going to talk about Joe Biden just because he's sick all of a sudden, which I don't know that that's the truth. I think that's a lie, because either they knew that he was sick the whole time and didn't tell the American public, or he's not sick at all. Not with that, at least not right now. Talking about that it's an aggressive thing and it might be in the bones, meaning that he would have had to have that thing for years, if not decades. You understand what I'm saying? Like, this ain't nothing that's new if he do got it. Okay? And it don't matter whether he got it or don't got it. For you to say that, oh, well, we shouldn't have any conversations about what he did while he was in office because he's sick now, sounds crazy. You sick. You are sick. You're sick in the head. Okay? And I'm not about to participate with your psychosis. Sound crazy. Right? Now that, and that's just three things, right? That's the IVF clinic was blown up by a crazy leftist. Then we had the Mexican ship try to destroy the Brooklyn Bridge. Then we had Joe Biden catch prostate cancer all of a sudden magically. Then we got freaking Kash Patel and Dan Bongino on the news talking about Epstein killed himself. What? What do you mean Epstein killed himself? Kash Patel and Dan Bongino got up on the news. It looks like a hostage video, okay? Talking about Epstein killed himself. I'm so sick of Dan Bongino and Kash Patel, and I love me some Kash Patel, okay? I'm so sick of them. And then they're like, oh, well, people are like, well, why aren't we doing more or whatever? And they're like, well, what do you call them? Oh my goodness. When you run out of time to file a charge, oh my goodness. Limits, what is it? It's called something limitations. Oh my goodness. I forget it. But anyway, you only got a certain number of years to file certain things. Why is it slipping my mind? It doesn't matter. Anyway, so they're like all of the crimes and stuff that these people committed or didn't commit, like the time is too long, so we can't charge them with that right now or anything like that. What? I want to see people go to jail. I want these people in jail. Statute of limitations. Thank you, Kevin. Statute of limitations. That's what it is. Thank you, Kevin. Yeah, I want them in jail. What are you talking about? I'm not trying to hear nothing that you're talking about. Statute of limitations is over. I want people in jail for all of the old folks that they killed during COVID. Okay? I want people in jail for that. I want people in jail for what they did to the January 6th prisoners. I want people in jail for that. And people will say, oh, well, the January 6th prisoners, they're horrible, whatever. Listen, I don't care what you feel about them specifically, okay? And even if I was to agree with you, which I do not, okay, the quality of conditions that they were kept in is inhumane and unacceptable. And y'all be the same ones talking about, oh, the January 6th people are terrible and they should be treated whatever. Y'all be the same people that be like, let all the prisoners out of jail. Y'all be the same people be like, oh, well, the correctional officers are mean to the prisoners. Y'all the same people. So I'm not trying to hear nothing y'all got to say, because y'all ain't got nothing to say constructive in the conversation. That's real. Nothing. Y'all got no value add. So Cash for telling them, talking about, oh, well, the statute of limitations is expired, so we can't do. I don't care. I do not care. I do not care. These people need to be punished. Okay? I'm not trying to hear nothing that you're saying. You're telling me there ain't gonna be no justice for none of this? And then they had the nerve to start talking about Crossfire Hurricane, which was the investigation into Trump, which was the Russian collusion, the big Russian lie that never was and was not true or whatever. Okay. And they're like, oh, well, we're releasing files about that. I don't care. I don't care. These people shut down my business in New York. I want them in jail. I want their heads on pikes. Okay. They shut us in our houses. They made us go and show vaccine passports like it's Nazi Germany. I want them in prison. Honestly, I want them executed. But for real, you can at least put these people in prison. Like, are you serious? And we got all these people in the streets screaming about fascists and fascism and stuff like that. Gonna act like they weren't the ones supporting them, turning in their neighbors on Thanksgiving because they got more than 2 cars in the driveway. I will not be lectured by these people on fascism. We got totalitarianism right here in my city right now. They got it where you got to check your ID to get into a neighborhood in my city like it's a freaking East Germany. Are you serious right now? Are you serious? And you going to talk to me about fascism? You need a slap. You know? Like, and the only reason why I don't give out slaps is because I don't want to go to prison. You know, they say, what's keeping you from being your true self? Prison. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to go. I'm too black to go to prison. I'm doing everything I can to stay out. I'm not trying to go to jail. I'm not trying to go to prison. Please don't go there. I might talk to you on the phone, but I am not coming to visit you. I'm trying to stay as far away as possible. Okay? It's crazy. You gonna tell me that none of these people going to jail? Y'all need to go to jail. How about that? How about that? You're not putting nobody in jail. You need to go to jail. What you mean? If you're not going to do what's necessary, you useless to me. Talking about, oh, well, we're going to go after the child predators and stuff like that. You ain't going after no real child predators. Go start arresting these people on Epstein's client list. You ain't really doing nothing. You out here spinning wheels, talking game. Okay, where was all that big talk, Dan Bongino, that you had on your show? Where was all that big talk that you had, Cash, in all the interviews that you had? I'm not trying to hear nothing that you're talking about. I want to see these criminals in handcuffs. For real. The lives they've destroyed, the lives that they've taken, the lives that they've changed, what would you call it? The finances that they've destroyed. These people need to be in prison. Then I saw some clip. I don't know if it's true or not because I don't be on Truth Social, but I saw a picture from Truth Social, and it said something like, Trump said, should there be military tribunals? Now, I can neither confirm nor deny that that is an actual post that he put, and he had put a picture. I guess it was in reference to Obama. They said that he had put. Now, I don't know that he did that. I don't think that he did that because that sounds out of character for Trump. Trump wouldn't do something like that. But if he did, don't threaten me with a good time. Make it happen. You understand what I'm saying? These people are not being punished. These people are not going to jail. Nothing is being done. And all that's happening is our citizens that have been suffering continue to suffer. and nobody is getting justice. Nobody. And you telling me about some statute of limitations. Change the statute of limitations then. What do you mean? The Democrats do it all the time. They done made up new laws just to accuse Trump of being a felon. You understand what I'm saying? If they want to make up new laws, we need new laws. And you guys, if you know me, you guys know I'm not about expanding the government or creating no extra laws or anything like that. So I must really be some type of way on this type of issue right here. Okay, because you telling me that the people that are the true criminals are getting away with everything and nobody's being punished? You understand what I'm saying? Maybe the whole government needs to be turned over and tipped over just like a teapot of spoiled tea. Sick of this, man. I'm sick of this. Okay, don't play in my face. They've been playing in our face. Now ain't nobody going to jail. Chuck Schumer, what's the frick is his name? Adam Schiff, ain't none of them going to jail. Are you serious, bro? Cuomo, he ain't going to jail? Like, are you serious, bro? Like, none of these people are going to jail that did all of these atrocities. Like, legitimate human rights violations. Like, are you serious? I'm so frustrated. I'm beyond frustrated because I'm upset, right? I feel some type of way. It's like the people on the internet. Yeah, I guess Trump did put this up there. I'm looking at his Truth Social right now. I went to check. And it says, all roads lead to Obama. Read Truth if you want public military tribunals. Absolutely. I want these people executed on the spot. You tripping. Okay? You tripping. War crimes and crimes against the American people. I want these people executed. There's no two ways about it. And you telling me they ain't even going to go to jail? Cash? That's what you got to tell me? I pray to Jesus and the Lord our Father in heaven that I catch you in the next couple of months outside so I can talk to you. Because I got some words for you. I love you, bro, but we need to have a personal heart-to-heart conversation. For real. Because if I don't start seeing people go in prison, it's going to be a problem. Same thing with when Trump was in there the first time. He's like, Hillary's going to go to jail. We're going to lock her up. I guess technically, I don't think I've ever heard him say that specifically, but he did encourage those types of chants and stuff like that. And then when he got in office, he's like, oh, well, I thought that it wouldn't be good for our nation if we locked up a former president's wife. No, absolutely. Lock up these treasonous cretins. And I don't care what none of you got to say about nobody, but there's nobody from either party, Democrat, Republican, Independent, or anybody that should be carrying water for Hillary Clinton. That is a horrible human being. Okay? Horrible, horrible bad person. Like, she's bad. Like, look at what she did to Haiti. Like, bad. You don't know what she did to Haiti? Look at what the Clinton Foundation did. Look at all the properties that they bought up in there. Look at why Haiti's Haiti now. Look at why it's messed up like it is now. Okay? Don't get me started. I've been talked about Haiti all day long because I really got to bug up my butt about Haiti. That whole nonsense that they did down there. You know that they gave Haiti cholera. Cholera had never been on the island before, and the UN was there, so-called doing the humanitarian aid, and they put a whole bunch of poo-poo water, because cholera comes from poo-poo water, into the stream where the people in Haiti got the water from, where they draw water to drink, and a whole bunch of people in Haiti got cholera. Go look it up. Like, you can't make this stuff up. Like, that was intentional. You mean to tell me that you don't test the people to see if they got diseases before they get transported from overseas and stuff like that? If I was to believe somebody was sick with cholera and they made it and it came in the poo-poo water, that's one thing. But honestly, you probably poured it in there and poisoned them people intentionally. And even if you didn't pour it in there and do it to them intentionally, you knew that the people were sick and you had them poo in the water intentionally because you didn't care about them to begin with. I got a lot to say about it, and y'all know I'm America first, and I could care less about any of the other countries in the world. But the fact of the matter is I'm not about to sit here and ignore what happened like it didn't actually happen. So, but I mean, they're talking about they're not putting nobody in jail for nothing. I want people put in prison. Then Trump got the daggone nerve. I hope I catch him outside too, because I need to have a conversation with him about a couple things. Okay, namely that. Don't promise me no military tribunals. Don't act like you're gonna do no military tribunals and there ain't no military tribunals. Okay, you done made too many promises when it comes to locking people up and people going to jail, and ain't nobody going to jail and ain't nobody getting locked up. However, I will give him credit for freeing a lot of people from jail. He has freed a lot of black people from jail, black Americans. He even just recently freed a black American hostage. And, and it was crazy because Trump did that and Biden wouldn't do it. And the guy's whole family was like very strong Biden supporters, but Biden wouldn't help him or anything. And I guess I don't know whether it's his sister or his cousin, like the whole family was up and having a fight over it because she was dragging them because Trump brought, I guess she's the only Trump supporter or whatever the case is. And he brought her brother or whatever he is, cousin. I don't remember which one it is. It's not important, but she was mad at the rest of the family because they didn't support Trump. And she's like, look, he brought our family back. You know what I'm saying? Like, and this is a black man, but that didn't even get any news coverage. Because again, Trump could cure cancer tomorrow and it don't matter what he does. Nobody cares, because bad orange man bad, it's orange man fever. These people got it and they got it bad. And it clouds their judgment. It clouds their thought process and all of that. But those are 4 things that happened right over the weekend that are real crazy. What else happened that we didn't see? That's what I really want to know. All of that sounds like a lot of distraction. That means to me that something crazy just happened and we're missing it all. Those are a bunch of big, huge distractions on very serious levels. And that means that we're missing something. That means that they're using that to hide some information or some event that just transpired over the last couple of days from us. And I don't know what it was, and I wish I could figure it out. And if I figure it out, I'm definitely going to bring it to you guys' attention. But it's crazy to me that all of that stuff just magically all happened all at one time. And I haven't been able to figure it out what else is really going on or what they're really hiding from us. But I guarantee you it's something somewhere. Because that's how they work. It's all distractions. And let me be clear here. Like, I'm a registered Republican that is a constitutional conservative. I am 100% America First, okay? MAGA's a little different than America First, but we have a lot of very serious similarities when it comes to what our priorities are. But being that, my first priority is the American people. And what I've seen lately is that far too many people have all of this crazy trust in the government all of a sudden. And it's crazy to me because the government is and has always been not in favor of the American people. That's why there have always been so much strict restrictions on the government, limiting the government's power. We need to shrink the government. The government needs to be so small that it can fit in my hand and I can crush it if I need to. That's how small the government is right now. It should be right now. So disgusting, make you want to spit. But this is the problem. Everybody's all so teamified. So whoever's in the office, that's who they support or whatever. If it's Trump, then they support Trump. If it's Biden, they support Biden. If it's whoever, they support whatever. But what's going on right now is tragic. It's absolutely tragic because we've got bills, a bill like this big, beautiful bill. I'm not a big fan of it, right? Because of certain stuff in there, it increases the debt. That's a big thing. I'm not for that. Okay, I'm not for them raising the debt ceiling or doing any of that either. So that's a big problem for me. That's a no. But also, the Democrats have been talking about it like, oh, it's going to cut 13, they said earlier. And I told them, I asked them to justify that for me. Show me it in paper. Show it to me where I can find that, And they couldn't. They wouldn't, So they're like, oh, it's going to cut Medicaid for 13 million people. 13 million illegal aliens? 13 million illegal aliens. That's who it's cutting it to. Can you talk about that? Can you say that? Tell the whole story. Don't tell the lie. It also includes the no tax on tips in there. That's in there. Like, can we talk about that? No, but you're talking about, oh, it's gonna save money for the wealthy. Really? It's gonna save money for the wealthy. But the other day, Trump was up there talking about tax the rich, and y'all didn't want to support Trump on taxing the rich. Explain it to me like I'm 5, why you didn't want to support Trump taxing the rich, and then you got the nerve to come out and talk about, oh, well, the big, beautiful bill increases, cuts taxes for the rich. But Trump was just trying to raise taxes on the rich, and you weren't having it. So you're talking out two sides of your neck right now. And the bill doesn't actually do that. And again, already I done told you I'm not with the bill because it raises the debt ceiling and it creates more debt, and I'm not with it. Okay, so this is a serious problem. But these Democrats are out here talking crazy and lies and misrepresenting everything because they want you to be mad. They want you to be in fear. They want you to be scared. They want you to be concerned. They want you to be off kilter. They don't want you to be able to be stable or think stably and be of stable and present mind. It's fear porn. That's what it is. It's fear porn, and people are becoming intoxicated and wrapped up in it. It's crazy. Somebody dropped a comment. Let's see what we got. Kevin is talking about I tried to handle the Saturday situation in a manner similar to a crashing of a car, though no car was involved. Yeah, Kevin, we'll talk about that later. I want to finish this other stuff up, but yeah, so Kevin's having an issue with local issues with drugs being trafficked in front of his house and stuff like that, and criminals hanging all about. And because of the horrible laws that we have in New York State, they can't lock up the criminals. They don't have enough police to continue to respond, and all of this other stuff that's serious issues that our local city council doesn't want to even address to begin with, which is actually a serious travesty. Like they will not even admit that the crime is going on at all, which is shameful. Speaking of which, shameless plug, I'm running for Rochester City Council in the city of Rochester. If you live in Rochester, make sure you volunteer on my page, on my website, Marcus4Rochester.com, or donate. Even if you're not local, you can donate to my campaign, Marcus4Rochester.com. Thank you, Kevin, for that input. But back to what I was saying, as we have this serious bit of conversation here, what's going on in our country right now is wrong. We've got the Democrats continuing to lie about everything. And you'll say, well, Marcus, but you're just saying that because you're a Republican. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because when the Republicans are full of malarkey, I'm on the gristle also. Okay, so it's the problem with the Democrats is they've made so many promises that they've never kept. It's the promise of help that never comes. That is a tactic of war. Go look it up. The promise of help that never comes. It's a tactic of war. And the help never comes. And then they tell everybody, and I want to tie up with this because this is important to me. We're getting ready to come up on Juneteenth. Now, Juneteenth, also known as Emancipation Day, is an American holiday. It's an all-American holiday. It's specifically an American holiday in relation to the notification of that slavery ended in Texas, because everybody didn't know, there weren't like telephones back then that were widely available, and there were people that were out there that didn't want to let the slaves be free. So one of the generals had to march down there into Texas, and they tried to enforce that slavery was over. And that's where Emancipation Day and Juneteenth holiday comes from. It's called Juneteenth because it's a period of time. It's a window because, again, no phones, no TVs, none of that, not really. You know what I'm saying? So that's how they transition the message. And that's why we have Juneteenth as a celebration. But if you look at the Juneteenth flag is red, white, and blue. And it's red, white, and blue for a purpose because it's a all-American holiday. And I'm not trying to hear nobody, especially these crazy white people, tell me, oh, well, that's a stupid holiday or whatever. No, it is a celebration of America's military victories, and it should be honored and respected along with any other things, just like we have the celebration for the 4th of July. It's exactly like that. We won the Civil War. So that's why we have that, but people don't honor it the way that it's due. But what's happened is it's turned into this Pan-African nonsense where they got all of this red, green, and black and Africa nonsense. Black people, Black Americans are not from or of Africa. We are American natives. We are American Indians. Okay, we are American Indians. We are from this land. If you look at the documentation, the etchings, the notes of everybody that landed on the East Coast, they say that the people that they encountered here on the East Coast of America were dark complexion, similar to what you would find in Africa as far as people looking. So that's very, very serious. But they try to erase that. That's why we got this concept, and Trump actually testified before Congress in a hearing about casinos and stuff about it. And he was like, all of these people that are claiming to be Indians don't look like Indians to me because they're all white. And he's right. Because there was these things called $5 Indians where you could just sign up and be an Indian for $5, and they kicked all of the people that were darker complected off of the Indian rolls. And go look up the Dawes rolls and all of this nonsense and all of that nonsense. But the holiday of Juneteenth is an all-American holiday and should be celebrated by everybody that believes in freedom and believes that slavery should be abolished. Okay. If you believe in that and you believe in our country and you're happy that the Civil War was won, I mean, if you're not happy that it was won by the North, I don't know what to tell you. If you're not happy that slavery was ended, I don't know what to tell you. But if you are, you should be celebrating this proud and waving your American flag high because we protected the Union and we were able to free the slaves. That's what Juneteenth is about. But we've got all these crazy Pan-Africans with all these African flags and African clothing and all of this nonsense, diluting and erasing the history and heritage and lineage of my people in this country. Nobody else out here that is melanated, okay, is a Black American. The only Black people are Black Americans. Everybody else, like it was Haitian Flag Day yesterday. Hey, Randy, I see you. It was Haitian Flag Day a couple days ago. Haitians can have their Flag Day. Haitians can be proud of their day. They got the Caribbean Festival. They got all the Caribbean parades. They got Dominican Day and all of this and all of that. And you know what I'm saying? They got all of these different things. And the Brazilians can be happy about their carnival and all of this stuff. But Black Americans can't have our own stuff. That's why we got Mardi Gras down there with all of the Black Indians down there. Okay, our people are from and of this land, but we have been dispossessed because they continue to try to erase our history. They've even gone so far as to put white people on rolls, on Indian rolls, while they pushed us off because anybody that was American Indian that wasn't on a roll, okay, that didn't go onto a reservation was rebranded as Black, okay, as Negro. Go look it up. Like, these are serious things. But anyway, we got to get ready to go here. And I'll come back. If you're online, I'll finish up with you in a second. But thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure that you check out our show every Monday, 2:30 to 4 p.m. on WRFZ 106.3. You're listening to The Divide with Marcus C. Williams. And remember, stand up, speak up, and don't shut up. Take action. You guys be blessed and be well. And remember, tell your friends, your family, and everybody else, even some of your enemies, and share this out. I'll catch you guys later. Be blessed and be well. All right, you guys. So as we were continuing this conversation about Juneteenth and Black Americans, okay, what's going on right now is they got all of these Pan-African people trying to erase the history of my people in this nation. And it's unacceptable because Black people are like the last of the Americans left, because most of the white Americans, what will be considered, have been here from settler times. Most of them have been erased or bred out. Maybe in the backwoods of West Virginia, there's like 5 left. You know what I'm saying? So this is a serious situation. Black Americans are the last of the Americans that are left. That's it. And it's real. So when we talk about American history, it is Black history. You know, and then everybody's like, oh, well, the immigrants and this, that, and the third. We're not talking about that. I don't care about the immigrants. Okay, I don't care about all the people that came here after. I'm talking about my people specifically and our ties to this land. You can talk about you're from Ireland or England or Italy, wherever you're from. That's fine. But this is about us. This is about my people and how they keep trying to tell us that our people are from Africa, and we ain't got nothing to do with no gosh darn Africa. Are you out here telling the Chinese that they from Africa? Are you out here telling right? Because it's the out of Africa theory. Well, everybody comes from Africa. Get a slap. Get a whole slap. You know what I'm saying? Like, are you serious? That's what we're not doing. Black Americans are the, and this goes into the next part, Black Americans are the only blacks in this world. Everybody else is melanated. Nobody else is black. Black is a term that came from Negro when they reclassified my people as being Negro, okay? And that's why you heard the term colored people, because colored people came from, they used to call us the copper colored people because of our skin complexion, the copper colored people. That's where the term colored people comes from. Okay, that's where that comes from. Like, you got to have understanding of our history as a nation, but they continue to try to convolute it and wash it away. That's why they push all this Pan-African nonsense. Started with Marcus Garvey and his bull jive back in like 1912 or whatever the case is. Trash, okay, who was a Jamaican, not even American, and died in England with a white woman. Don't get me started. And ain't never been to Africa. Don't even get me started. Imagine if a white person told a Black American, go back to Africa. It'd be fighting words. But you got other people say, oh, well, you're African. Don't call me African. It's a problem. You understand what I'm saying? We got serious problems. We're not about to play them games. So they called us, relabeled us Negro. We were colored. That's why they called us colored people, because we were the copper colored people. Then we were black. Okay, then they tried to make it in the early 94, 95. Okay, Jesse Jackson with his raggedy self gonna come out and say, oh, we should call ourselves African Americans. Africa ain't got nothing to do with my people. Africa ain't got nothing to do with Black Americans. We are of this land. We are from this land. We have fought in every single war since before this country was a nation. How dare you insult my people like that? Despicable. And I got words for everybody that wants to say that Black Americans are African or we should unite with Africa. Africa ain't got nothing to do with me. Outside of a couple of friends I got in Africa, I don't got nothing for Africa. Africa ain't got nothing for me. You understand what I'm saying? That is not my people. They don't care about us. Okay, they don't care a lick of spit about us. They trying to get their own house in order over in Africa. Don't try to put them on me. And I ain't trying to unite with nobody over there. They ain't got nothing to do with America. They not American. What they got to do with me? Absolutely nothing. You think that they want to be part of America, that they want to be one of the American territories or an American state or something? Then we can have a whole conversation. But if that's not what we're talking about, you're having the wrong conversation with the wrong person, fool. And I take this real serious. Also, my birthday's coming up, y'all. And I love y'all. It's on Memorial Day this year. I'm very happy about that. That's awesome. But this is crazy what they're trying to push on us. Okay, don't try to push this insanity on us. Okay? This is why we need to have these serious conversations, because you got a whole bunch of people, and this is part of an op by the government, right? By the elites, by the establishment, by the people who want to erase Black Americans, because they know that we are of this land, and they're trying to dispossess us of what we are due, since it is our land. This is another reason why I'm very disappointed with the Republicans right now and the reparation bill that just got entered into the House. It probably won't get out of committee, but got put in by some Democrat from somewhere. I don't know where it was. Maybe it was Texas. I don't know where it was. I don't know. I don't care. I'm not happy about it, because I don't want anything to do with no reparations from the Democrats, because they want to give it to everybody. They want it to be for alphabet people. They want it to be for everybody that's melanated. They want it to be for everybody that's non-white, and that's not what we're not playing them games. It's supposed to be for American natives and the descendants of slaves in America, the continental United States. What are y'all, whose face y'all playing in? And then the Republicans and stuff don't got no type of ternity. It's another T word. Okay. But they don't got no balls, no spine, and no tenacity to actually stand up on the promises that were made by General Tecumseh Sherman, okay, by the President Abraham Lincoln, okay, that promised reparations. Y'all let the Democrats erase those during the Reconstruction. Go look up the Reconstruction. I know so many Americans don't know much about the Reconstruction, please go study that. It is of dire importance that we know our country's history, because this is part of the reason how the Democrats have been able to pull the flim-flam on our whole country, especially on Black Americans. After the Civil War, before the Reconstructions, we have more Black Americans in office, in Congress, in the Senate, in the House of Representatives before they did the Reconstruction Act. Go look the Reconstruction Act up. That's when the Democrats kicked us all out of Congress. And to this day, we don't have the same number of representatives that are Black Americans in Congress right now. Then they got these fools that ain't even Black Americans in the Black Congressional Caucus. Y'all got a Jamaican running the Black Congressional Caucus. Are y'all out y'all rabbit behind minds? You know what I'm saying? Made me feel some type of way. I almost said something. You know, like, are you out your mind? Like, they not Black. They don't have affinity for our people. They care about their people. And rightfully so. I'm not mad that they care about their people, but don't be mad that I care about my people. America is my country. I ain't got no other country. I ain't got nothing to do with no Caribbean, no South America, no Africa. America. That's it. There is nothing else. And I'm not trying to hear nothing else from nobody else about nothing else. Stop trying to dispossess my people of our heritage and our lineage. And that's what I got for you. That's my final thought for today. And I'll catch you guys later. Remember, get active locally. Now is very serious. We got a lot of campaigns going on across the country this year where we need conservative and traditional values restored in leadership on the local level. We just lost a lot in Texas the other day, where we had a whole bunch of bills that were great bills that should have been passed, that were good, strong, traditional, foundational, conservative bills that should have been passed. They were trying to get rid of property tax for Texas. That should have been passed. They're trying to get rid of crazy alphabetism stuff pushed in schools. That should have been passed. All types of stuff should have been passed. We got these people late with calling themselves Republicans in there in Texas, and they didn't let none of the bills go. None of the bills got voted on. They all got ran out. The clock got ran out on the bills. This is serious. This is serious. We are losing our country day by day to the Democrats and the elite, because most of the Democrats don't realize that the Democrats are the problem. Like, they're like, I'm a registered Democrat, so it's my team, my team. Them Democrats don't care about you. I live in a city right now. Our city has been run by Democrats for 57 years. 57 years our city's been run by Democrats. Half of them are Black, okay? Look like me. You understand what I'm saying? I shouldn't say half of them are Black. Like, I'd say maybe a third of them are Black, and then like you got some other ones that aren't Black American. And you know, but like a lot of them look like me, and they've been running our city into the ground. And who's been hurting the most? Black people. You understand what I'm saying? Because the Democrats don't care about anybody but themselves. They care about filling their pockets. They feel about filling their purses and the pockets of their benefactors and everybody like that. They don't care about the people. Okay, they don't care about the people at all. If that was the case, we wouldn't have the horrible policies coming out of city council right now. They were trying to get these crazy far leftists on city council to pass a stronger sanctuary city bill when we got people getting shot and stabbed and overdosing every single day out here, and they won't do anything about the crime that's going on right here. And they got the daggone nerve to talk about they're going to do something for foreigners. Then they talk about, oh, we need to do a sanctuary city bill for alphabet people. What does that even mean, bro? What does that even mean? The whole concept my whole life used to be, before they went off on this crazy tangent talking about, gender, what do you call them? Identity nonsense trash. It used to be, oh, we just want equal rights like everybody else. We just want to be like everybody else. Just treat us like everybody else. Y'all got that. And now these crazy people that are in charge of your movement want more. They want more and more and more. They want everything for themselves, and they want nothing for everybody else. And I'm not with none of it. None of it. You're human like I'm human. I don't care who you're banging, or if you identify as an elephant. Well, I do care if you identify as an elephant, because that means that you're not a human. That's a separate question. How far are you going to take that? Because I got some hay in the backyard and a couple of peanuts. Okay, we can get this popping. Can I ride on your back? What is we doing? You understand what I'm saying? Is this really the circus? Let's find out. How far are you willing to take that? Okay, you know, but the point of the fact of the matter that I'm making is, we were told that the alphabet people only wanted equality. Now they're talking about, oh, we want all of this other nonsense, and we should make a sanctuary city protection for alphabet people. What does that mean? I don't even know what that means. That doesn't even make no sense to me. Because are they not people? I thought they were people. I think that all the alphabet people are people. I thought they were human. Now you're telling me that they're not like everybody else, that they're not human, that I shouldn't identify them as human. Why would you ever talk about making a law that identifies these humans as humans not to be humans? What are you doing? What are you telling me? Right? That they're better than me somehow? Because they're alphabet identifying? Okay, or because they don't know whether they're a boy or a girl, you're telling me that they're better than me, that they need special protections? Where's the protection for Black Americans? Okay, where's the protection for Christian Americans? They give protections to the Jews, they give protections to the Muslims, but when it comes to Christians, don't nobody give us protections. And then all these people on city council and the mayor and all of these people got the daggone nerve to call themselves Christians. The audacity. The audacity. And Kevin, I see what you're talking about. Kevin says, I hope your traditional radio equipment is still able to transmit. Yeah, the show officially ended at 4. We're just in overtime right now online. So I don't know if it was carrying the whole show or not. It was doing staticky stuff. It was cutting in and out and doing weird stuff. I don't know. And then somebody tried to call, probably trying to tell me that the show wasn't coming through good. I tried to answer. It wouldn't let me answer. I don't know what's going on with that. But we're here and we're online and we're talking about this nonsense that they're doing with the Sanctuary City bull jive. When we got people getting shot, stabbed, killed, run over, cars stolen, okay, children kidnapped every single day in our city. Every single day. And you're talking about you about to put in protections for illegal aliens and alphabet people? Where are our protection? When are you going to put these criminals in jail? Where's the protection for the victims? Where's the retribution for the victims? Where's the restitution for the victims of these crimes and these criminal acts? They don't care about us. They care about consolidating more power for themselves. And like I said, ain't not one Republican here, not one conservative here. It's all Democrat rule. All Democrat rule. Not one and nobody else. So the only issues that we have that are issues that have been brought by these people. Come on now. But I got to get ready to get out of here because I got a couple of things to do. So I want to leave you with this encouragement. Before I do that, please donate to the show. $MW Real, the number 1. That's $MW Real 1 on Cash App, or you can do Venmo or PayPal. It's at Marcus C. Williams. Drop $10, $25, whatever you can. If you want to drop more, but do what you can. Do donate. And we also have givesendgo.com/Marcus C. Williams. You can donate on there as well. I really appreciate you guys tuning into the show. Please share this, hit the retweet button, share this, drop the thumbs up, give a thumbs up, give a heart, do whatever you can. Drop some comments because comments kick the algorithm to get it out to more people too. I'll be recasting this later probably, but share this, man. Every share helps. These are the important conversations that we need to be having. Okay, I'll catch you guys later. Get active locally. Go to a city council meeting. Go to a school board meeting. Go to a fire district meeting. Whatever you got, whatever your interest is in locally. Get active locally. And remember, stand up, speak up, and don't shut up. Take action. Be blessed and be well.